with the Valdosta Housing Authority. We have a general contractor who will have a contract. Now, under that general, he will have some subs, okay? He will have some subs because the work that he's responsible for does involve some subcontracting work, okay? Now, the next contract we're dealing with is shingle roofing, okay? Next contract, and that's a component contract. That's the first of the component contracts. Okay. The next one is painting. That's a component contractor. Electrical. That's a component contractor. Concrete patios. That's a component contractor. And then landscaping is a component contractor. Every item that I've read out will have an individual contract with the housing authority. If you're a component contractor, you'll have an individual contract with the housing authority. What we've done is we've, by these documents, and you'll have to get in here and read them, but we're requiring that the general contractor prepare a schedule of events that has to happen. And when you send in your bid proposal, you might put so many days if you're a component contractor, and those will be taken into consideration and they'll be used to help build the overall schedule for completion. The general is required to do this coordination of schedule. Each component is required to work within the end product schedule. So it's going to take a joint effort. Even though we've divided this in, we still got to have a GC doing some things. So that's the way we structured it, and it's going to take people working together, understanding your responsibilities, and then fulfill them. To go on, all bids will be received at the same time and place on the same bid form. Only the parts filled out for a general contractor base bid or the individual component contractor for Valdosta Housing Authority. This, if you flip over in the documents, and I know some of you don't have documents, but I'm going to give you a quick rundown here of this bid form, okay? Now, what it is everybody's got this, okay? Doesn't matter if you're a component or a GC. So what happens is you, as a shingle contractor, you fill out only the shingle information. You, as a GC, fill out only the GC information. Okay? Same way with the painting, the electrical, the concrete patios, and the landscaping. Same bid form. You just won't fill all of it out. You fill out the part that pertains to you. Y'all got that? Okay. Now, it gets complicated, but it's not really complicated if you think about it. We had to have some alternates because we don't know where all the bids are going to add up to. We've got a budget statement in. So we developed these alternates by leaving out entire buildings, entire office. There's a little office involved in this. And all the work is on the exterior of these units. But it'll tell you this is the building, it's a number so-and-so, and this is left out under a deductive alternate number 1. That's the office building. And the next one is the next building, and the next one is a whole building, and then the next one is a whole building. And what you have to do is you have to figure that we could take all these off. You see, so don't just don't count on anything else. I mean, when you put your numbers in here, the owner wants the choice of being able to leave out one or all of these. So whatever you got left over, you got to make sure you have enough in there to cover your work. Okay. So you have to figure on a building by building basis, whether you're a component or a GC. But the GC has to provide this oversight service. Okay, now that's in the specification, found into it. Back to the advertisement one more time.
Got one question up there.
Let me get through.
Right.
Back to the advertising one time. On the GC, all general contractors that bid on this are required to have a bid bond. All general contractors. Component contractors are not required to have a bid bond. Okay? When you send that bid bond in, the general contractor also has to have a performance and a payment bond figured in his price. What you're doing when you submit the price, you submit your bid bond with it. That guarantees that you can provide a performance and payment bond. You don't have to bring the performance and payment bond, but you have to have a bid bond, and that's what guarantees it. The component contractors are not required to have a performance and payment bond. Okay? Okay. Back up here for one more item here to say that the Valdosta Housing Authority set this project up to encourage small businesses to participate by bidding on components. General contractors should not bid on components, and component contractors should not bid on GC-based bid. Okay? Now, you notice the word should, okay? I'm telling you that this is the way it fully carries out the intent of the Housing Authority. It wants to involve small business.
Right.
And that is a goal, and this is a clear way of doing it. You just have to understand when you're bidding, this is the way the client wants it here. So keep that in mind when you're bidding, and I would suggest that you follow the instructions there, okay? All right, to move on into the next item. I'll go through the plans in a minute, but I mean, just a quick overview is this is all exterior renovations. We're actually raising some roof pitches, we're putting new roofs on, we're putting hardy board siding on. There are other units that have already been done down there under a separate project that you can get an idea about what you're looking for on these units. It will continue to be occupied during all the work. You look carefully now, because you got your air conditioners have to be slid out. The pad's got to be bigger. You got to disconnect that thing and reconnect it. There are some power lead-in service areas that have to be adjusted in order to get this outside skin on here. So you got to study the plans, because the plans really go to greater detail about what's in the painting, what's in the shingles. See, this is just trying to identify the category. But you got to read these notes. Everybody needs to read the notes. It doesn't matter if it's your job or somebody else's job, because if you'll see that it's somebody else's job, then that means you don't figure. So you got to read the notes, and it's not that many of them, but it is important to read it, and it explains the extent of each category. Okay.